Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to She Boss Talk. I am your host, Shantae Alradi. I am coming on with another important EIDL update. There is really big news regarding the SBA and their announcement of 5 new rules that are around the EIDL loan program that you all need to know about, both you all that have already applied and those that plan to apply to the program before the end of the year or before the funds run out. So I'm going to be talking also about EIDL 2.0, the a very anticipated loan modification or increase to the $2 million max. Going to let you know where we are with regards to that because I believe these new rules are in preparation for that additional increase. We'll also be talking about the targeted EIDL grants and supplemental grants that are also still available that have many billions of dollars still available for entrepreneurs, small business owners, and nonprofits to be able to get access to the funding you need for your small business. Okay, so before we get started, as always, want to welcome you all in. If you have any questions at all, I will try to answer them before I get off of the broadcast. Drop your questions. I always follow up after the broadcast as well. If you're new, welcome everybody. But if you're new, do subscribe. If you have not subscribed already, do follow us wherever we are on social media. All of our explainer videos are on our YouTube channel. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed so you can go get your step-by-step plan to get access to a lot of the funding that is out there and available to you. So I'd encourage you to do that. And then do give us a thumbs up, hit that like button, love button, so more people can see this video. Tag anyone that you need to tag and share, because sharing is caring. We know that there's still so many millions of businesses really that are still struggling and that don't know about these programs. They still don't know. And we're almost 2 years in, over a year and a half into this pandemic already. And they either don't know about the program or struggle to apply for the program. So that's why we're here to educate, to inform, and to provide you all with resources and tools to help you, again, get the financial relief you need so that you can achieve your business goals, even during the pandemic. So with that said, I'm going to get right into these 5. Again, these are 5 rules. So the SBA has issued interim final rule. They do this. So they do announcements in a number of different ways. This one is through an interim final rule to make these updates, to be able to bring them to the public. So this was made effective yesterday, which was September the 8th. Today is September the 9th. And again, I'm focusing on 5 rules. These rules can be found at the Federal Register, which is federalregister.gov. They also open it up to comments from individuals and businesses like yourselves, right? To comment. So they look at those, they read those, they listen to your comments, your questions, your concerns, and they do and have taken that into consideration as they have continued to update and improve these programs. You can also find information at govinfo.gov on this interim final rule and the 5 new rules as well. Now, this is pertaining to 13 CFR parts 121 and 123. So I've already read through the interim final rules. It's a 20-page document. So I'm really bringing you the highlights. I try to put it in layman's terms so that you understand, because sometimes, again, it can be hard to understand everything that's going on with these programs. So the first program change that you can expect, and this applies to applications or applicants from the effective date of September the 8th through December the 31st, 2021, which is the deadline to apply for this program. So that's why I encourage you, if you have not already applied for the COVID EIDL relief, the loan program, I would encourage you all to do that. Very popular program. Many businesses have applied, have gotten approved, have gotten funded. Some are still in the process. And the expectation is that there will be an increase in the number of applicants to this program before it closes out at the end of the year. first program change is with the definition of affiliations or affiliates, right? So a lot of small business owners found that it was very challenging. This is one of the challenging areas, is understanding the complexities, all the jargon around what is considered and what's not considered an affiliate, all right? And how to account for your business, because there was limits on, and this really pertains to those larger businesses, right? We know small businesses, there's a definition, you have to have 500 employees or less. But then there's different affiliations that a business can have. And then based on those affiliations, they need to know what their limits are, their restrictions are. So they basically streamline the definition to align with what they use for the Restaurant Revitalization Fund or Restaurant Revitalization Grant. And to just simplify it, what they basically said is affiliated businesses in which an eligible entity. So they've already defined, the SBA, what entities are eligible for this program that can apply on or before, right? Your business was in operation on or before January 31st of 2020. But for an affiliation, this is any eligible entity has an equitable or equity interest or right to profit distribution of not less than 50% in your company or in your business, or it has contractual authority to control the direction of your company or your business. So that was the change that they have made, because I know that early on there was a lot more to it, a lot more complexities, and businesses really didn't understand, and that also can be a deterrent on businesses applying to the whether they apply to the program or not. And so we don't want it to be overly complicated, and the SBA has acknowledged that they understand that where we are with the rise of COVID, the Delta variant, that businesses are still struggling. They want to and need to help more businesses and remove a lot of the challenges that we have been experiencing through the pandemic and trying to get access to this relief. So that, again, that is number one. Number two is regarding the second decline application. So many of you all, let me know if this is you. There are business owners that have applied, they have been denied the loan application for a number of different reasons. But if you don't already know, you can get denied, get denied, and then appeal again. So even if you're denied one time, you've always had the ability to apply to submit an appeal, which is called the request for reconsideration. But they did make some changes again to make this process better. So they did change the appeal process to allow the Director of Disaster Assistance Processing and Distribution Center to make decisions on appeals for all disaster loans. So when I say all disaster loans, this is COVID and non-COVID. So there's businesses that are suffering from COVID. And then Ida just hit, the Ida hurricane, and there's other disasters. So this covers all disaster loans that are issued by the SBA. It also clarifies that the administrator has the authority at their discretion to review and make the final decision. And the SBA declines second time, the director will make the final decision. So if the SBA declines twice, then the director, right, of the Disaster Assistance Processing and Distribution Center will make that final decision. So I know many businesses that have gone through the appeals process that has been able to overcome that denial to get approved and to be able to get funded. But you, again, must make sure that you are addressing the specific reason why you were denied, that you come with facts and proof, either that the SBA in their decision making made an error, because that is possible and it has happened, or on your behalf you corrected an error that you made, and you were able to show that after you made the correction, provided the documentation, that you do indeed meet the requirements. So that's very important to know, because believe it or not, there's people that don't know that they can appeal the loan or the grant, and there's an appeal process for the disaster program, whether it's the loan or the grant. So if that is you and you've been not denied, I would highly encourage you to appeal and go through how to go through that process. Okay. Number 3, EIDL entities. So they have actually expanded eligibility for businesses in specific industry codes. So you've seen the NAICS codes. There are specific industries that they indicate in this interim final rule. I won't read all of them, but we know a lot of them that were hardest hit: live venues, restaurant, travel, tourism industry. So they have a list of those where there's an expanded eligibility of these businesses in these specific industries to have 500 employees or less per physical location. So I just said before, as part of being eligible for to apply to this program, you must have 500 employees or less. Well, they've expanded it for these industries, meaning that it's just not across the board. So say you have 5 physical locations. It's not limited to 500. It is now expanded where 500 per location for these specific industries. So I have also included the actual interim final rule, so you can look and see if this is applicable to your particular industries. When you're applying, they do ask you, right, to provide your industry code. As a business owner, you should know that. You can, if you don't know it, you can always look it up. Again, they are NICS codes, and that's very important. Those of us that are in government contracting or government grants, we know what our codes are, and that's going to be important for you. And then also together with your affiliates. So again, these are larger, small businesses. Together with your affiliates, you cannot have more than 20 locations. So you can see how this is expanding the program to more businesses, being able to get them additional funding for their business. So that is the expansion on the EIDL entities. Okay, so those smaller businesses, self-employed, that this does not impact you. Okay, but we have all types of small businesses that tune into our videos and on our across our networks, all types of businesses, all sizes, all types of industries. So I want to make sure we're addressing all of you all so you can just take action that you need to take. Number 4, use of proceeds for funds. So, you know, I've gotten many questions about how to use the EIDL loan funds. I've done videos. We have videos on our channels on the do's and don'ts of using funds. Sometimes business owners have trepidation on using the funds, right? So they're holding on to them, fearful that they're going to spend it on the wrong thing. Let's not be scared. They tell you what you can spend the money on, making sure it's in your business, right? On business operations, business capital, payroll, rent, utilities, normal operating costs. So they have further extended what is eligible for spending your proceeds on. So I just want to review that really quickly. So the expansion includes payments on all forms of business debt, and this includes debts owned by the SBA, okay, or their associations, right? So that can include other loans. The SBA does not just have COVID loans. They have other types of loan programs, and many business owners have those loans, and they're actually under another COVID relief program, which is debt relief, right? So maybe they understand, and they said this in the interim final rule, that during COVID, more businesses had to take on debt, right? And so even businesses that I know that have done well, maybe they didn't have a decrease, but expenses rose. There were things that they had to do. They had to take on more debt to keep their doors open or to keep keep operations where they were, right? Whether it was steady, whether it was increasing, a lot of businesses took on more debt. So this is giving you additional relief so that you can pay off that debt. Maybe it was a higher interest or whatever. And you're able to pay that off with your loan proceeds. Also, debt payments, monthly payments, deferred interest is also included. Prepayment of business debt. Prepayment of business debt, except prepays on federal agencies, including the SBA. Okay, so I want to make that clear as well. Also, paid debt incurred both before and after your submission of your EIDL loan application. Okay, debt incurred both before your loan application and after. So that's a great thing. So you can consider the debts that you have before you even apply. So if you have not applied, if you have debts, that's considered as well. And then any debts that you may have after your loan application, you can use the proceeds for. Okay, so that's great information. If you again have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And then number 5, limits on COVID EIDL loans for single corporate group. So a single entity. So these entities in a group can receive no more than $10 million. Okay. So in a single corporate group, 10 million is the limit of COVID funds that are aggregate. And that's how they handle it. And again, this is in anticipation for what the SBA knows is coming. They know that there's going to be an increase in applicants, and they want that. There's going to be an increase in the loan caps. Okay, so I'll talk about that in just a second. And so they're getting ready for that. So they know that there's going to be an increase in the loan size and the amount of applicants and the availability to they want the availability to the largest possible number of businesses to be able to apply for this program. Okay, so let me just recap before I just go into the EIDL 2.0. This is not really about 2.0, but understand this is to prepare for what we've been anticipating, that the SBA is going to raise the cap to $2 million on the COVID EIDL loans. So we've been anticipating that they would do it after Labor Day. This is the first step in them doing that. So just to recap, the program changes. The 5 is they change the definitions on affiliation. So if you're coming in late, just catch the replay. Number 2, the second decline application. So they changed the process, the appeal process, to further streamline that process to make it easier. They're including the Director of Disaster Assistance Processing and Distribution Center to be able to make a decision if the SBA declines you twice. EIDL entities, specific industry codes, those that are hardest hit. 500 employees per location. Is not just 500 employees, it's per physical location with a max of 20 locations. Use of proceeds that I just reviewed. So more things that you can spend your loan funds on. So that's great. And then again, number 5, the limits on COVID EIDL loans to single corporate groups with a maximum of 10 million. Okay. So let's talk about this EIDL, the increase of 2.0. Okay. So this is the increase to 2 million. Understand not every business is going to qualify for 2 million. This is really for those that do qualify, when it should have been in 2020. The cap, what the law said, it was the businesses were supposed to get up to 2 million, and we didn't. The cap was 150. Okay, then Isabella Gunsman came into office under the Biden administration and raised the cap to 500,000. So she had already said in a hearing with the Small Business Committee that she would be raising it to 2 million. So we've been monitoring this for a few months now. And we're expecting that it will be any day now that they will make it official because it is not on the website. Now, my understanding, what I'm hearing is that business owners are now seeing the ability to request an increase of $2 million, $2 million. Right. But it is not, the SBA has not changed the verbiage on their website. So if you go to sba.com, it's not .com, sba.gov, it still says that the cap is 500,000. So we know they cleared that 600,000 backlog, but even with that, there's like 50% of those that were declined, that then now you determine if you're going to go through that reconsideration process, right? Just because they cleared the backlog never means that everybody is going to get approved. But now they're planning to raise it to 2 million. Let me know if you see that in your portal, right? You should see it in your portal if you're one of those that qualify. But if you do see that in the portal, or any increase really over the 500,000 cap, that would tell you that they raised the cap in the portal. It's just not on the website yet. Okay, so that's what we're anticipating. What I want to note too is that even with the increase, anytime you're taking out additional capital, including this one, you want to take careful consideration. And also when they're looking at the increase or how much they're allowing you to be able to get, then look at how much do you need. You may not need all of it, right? At this point, you can always get some now and get some later because you've already been approved for that amount. Know that this is not a forgivable loan. This is money that has to be paid back. So you have to have a strategy for any type of funds that you get, right? You don't just give funds just to get them. And we know that this is a long-term loan, right? With the 30-year maturity date. Businesses don't take 30 years to pay off loans. We know that most businesses aren't even in business 30 years. Most times they probably started 5 businesses in that 30-year period. But it does make for more manageable loan payments for you. That's the difference between a disaster loan and a regular type of loan, is that is there to help you recover. And then with this loan also, I believe it was back in March, they had another interim final rule where they extended the deferment date on the loan. So if you have an EIDL loan, let me know in the comments. If you've gotten a loan increase, let me know in the comments. What that means is that you will not have to make your first payment until 2022. And again, it's based on when you took out the loan. It could be 12 to 24 months from the date of your note that they have extended the time that you have to not have to pay it. That means you need to use this time right now while you're using the funds wisely, right, to help build back up your business. And help you to multiply that money, and so that then you can go pay it back and you can be able to grow your business, right? So that's what we want to be able to do. This is for those businesses that have been impacted. We know so many millions have, because millions have applied for this program, have been affected by COVID-19. So again, this program is available. The SBA just on September the 2nd, they released the updated report. It had been a few weeks since they had updated the report on the EIDL loan, the targeted EIDL grant, and the supplemental grants. So we know millions have already been approved and funded for the loan. Many more are still applying and will apply. Do get your applications in. Please note that if you have already applied for the loan, you should have already received an invite from the SBA to apply for the grant. That is the new grant program that was launched in February of 2021, where you can get up to $15,000. So it's a max of $10,000 for the targeted, or the balance if you received a partial grant or advance in 2020. Okay, if you did not receive any money because they ran out of funds, then you would get the entire amount. That's what happened to me. I got the full 10,000. They also have a supplemental grant, which is 5,000. Okay, so you can qualify for the 10, and then you can also qualify for the supplemental grant of 5,000. Now, to qualify for the 10, you need to be in a low income community, be able to show a 30% decrease in loss of gross receipts, gross sales, gross revenue, business sales, in a quarter in 2020 compared to that same quarter in 2019. That's how they determine if you qualify for the grant or not. Advance is the same thing as free money. This is money you don't have to pay back. Okay. And the supplemental still need to be in a low income community. Your business. Okay. So if you have a brick and mortar, that's your business location. If you have a home-based business, is where you live and operate your business, like myself. Then you need to have 10 employees or less, and then you need to be able to show even more significant decrease of 50% in a quarter in 2020 compared to that same quarter in 2019 to qualify. Now, I get testimonials every single day. Just got another one where the person followed my instructions for reconsideration. I have people that didn't know they could file reconsideration, and now she's getting $15,000. That had she given up on the process, she wouldn't have it. Okay, so I would encourage you, apply if you haven't already. If you've been denied, appeal, but know what you're doing when you appeal. You don't want to just submit an appeal and you don't know what you're doing, right? Or there's not really anything substantiated that's going to overturn the denial. You want to make sure you do that as well. I've also recently been contacted. I've had a few of these where you were funded. You didn't get any money. There's a banking issue. There's a process for that as well. So the money is already allocated to you. You just can't get it because there was a banking issue. And it could be a number of different reasons. And the reasons are listed in the FAQs on the SBA's website. So I would encourage you to look in the link, look in the description, the show notes. We have all the EIDL SBA contact information, because depending on what program, the loan or the grant, there's different email addresses, there's different contact numbers. So you want to make sure you're going through the correct channel and you're not sending grant information to the loan department and loan information to the grant department. It happens. And then people wondering why their applications aren't moving forward. Right? Or you're submitting multiple applications. That is not going to help expedite the process. It's actually going to further delay it. It's going to throw up red flags. It's going to be noted as a duplicate. Then you're going to have to call and then have a conversation with the reps and clear up the fact that all the other ones that you submitted are duplicates, and they will withdraw those and then continue moving forward on your initial application. So if that's you, that's what you want to do, because as long as you have those duplicates in the system, your application is not moving anywhere. Okay. So we want to help you get unstuck and get approved and get funded. So we have videos on that. We have videos on the top reasons for denials. One other thing that I want to note is that, some of you all, and we said there's been some glitches, but sometimes it's not glitches. It's just when you're filling out the application, you're not paying attention, right? You're saying no to things you should have, marking yes to where you should have marked no, or you're saying you marked the box that said you weren't a U.S. citizen when you are a U.S. citizen. I say, you don't want to procrastinate and delay. But when you're going through that application, it's best to be on a computer, because some of you all want to use your mobile device. That's where you mess up too. It's easiest to be on a computer, on a laptop or a desktop, and work that application and go line by line, right? Because there's a lot in the beginning. There's a whole page of certifications. That's what's making it the process easier, is you self-certifying that this information is true, that you meet all of the eligibility requirements. And if you check one wrong thing by mistake, then it's going to throw you in and it's going to get you a denial. So for some of you all, they said that there was a big glitch about child support, but there were people that said there's a child support question. And if you answer that question wrong, then it says that you denied because you owed child support. Right? So that has happened, and it happens often. I just even had the other day, someone told me that they didn't put banking information. I said, how did you not put banking information? It clearly on the application has a section that says where you update or you can edit your banking information. So how would you skip that step in the application? It was there. I know it because I applied and I got the grant, both of them. And I triple checked that my bank information was right. both routing numbers, checking numbers, the bank name, everything. Because if one thing is off, you won't get your money, and it could be months before you get it. So we want to avoid those things. Just take your time, make sure you go through the questions, that you reading it correctly and not marking inappropriately. I mean, even they updated the application, so where now you're applying for both the targeted and the supplemental in one application. When I applied, they didn't do it that way. You had to be approved first for the targeted, then you got invited to the supplemental. They streamlined that process. So now they have a checkbox similar to the beginning in 2020. And many people missed that checkbox that said, I wanted the $10,000. I know, because I talked to many hundreds, thousands of business owners. Okay. And so it's probably some of you all, it's a little checkbox. It's not even super huge. And it says, do you want to be considered for the supplemental grant advance? And if you don't mark yes, you will not be considered. Okay. So, and I've had people too that received the targeted, didn't receive the supplemental. You need to find out why that is. And someone told me that I think in one situation they said something didn't match up correctly, some with information from 2020. I don't know, but my question was, they approved you for the targeted. So what is it about the supplemental that there's an issue with what you reported? I mean, yeah, that didn't make sense to me. But again, that was, email correspondence. So you just want to check, double check, and then call. If you're not clear on something you received in the email, call, speak to a representative, have them walk through your application. Make sure you understand exactly what's going on. But just know that you have an opportunity to overcome denials through reconsideration and get the grant. You can't get anything if you don't apply. And I know some of you all are watching. This is the first time you're probably hearing about this program. Please apply. Go to the sba.gov website, sba.gov/EIDL. It's in the description in the show notes. So if you meet the qualifications, submit the application. Then once you submit the loan application, you will be invited by the SBA via email to apply for those grants. And then just check and monitor your inbox and your spam folder for that email correspondence. You do not need to be approved for the loan to get the grant. You don't even need to accept the loan to get the grant. So that's been another misconception. Okay. So they process the loan and the grant separately. There's two separate departments. Understand that. So you can win them both, and you can again appeal and appeal again. And I know people that appeal multiple times, and it took 2 times or 3 times to be able to get access to the funding that they needed. So hope this has been helpful to you all. Again, there's for the targeted grant, there's still like $27 billion remaining. However, if they pass this infrastructure bill that's on the table, they already passed the Senate and is waiting to pass the House, which Speaker Pelosi says that they will vote on it by September the 27th. If it passes, that means 17 billion of that money will be removed and go to the infrastructure. And we don't want that, because that's considered unallocated, because it looks like nobody is applying, right? Nobody is applying. And I know there are so many entrepreneurs, small business owners, and nonprofits that are in low income communities. Where are they? That's why we love the fact that you all share our information, our videos, you tag people, you contact them, tell them to tune in to our broadcast, because otherwise they would not know. There's not a lot of people sharing this information. There's a lot of business owners not even on social media. They're not technically savvy, or they're knee deep in their business, just trying to keep their business open. And they don't know about these programs, or they live in a rural area, or maybe there's a language barrier. So there's so many things that keep business owners from getting access to the money. So what does it mean if the businesses that need it the most can't get it? So this is our way of doing outreach. to be able to reach as many people. And then we again just appreciate you all sharing as always, because you really don't know how much you have helped so many small business owners be able to get access to funds, just they need it just as bad as you do. Okay. So I'm just going to go through really quickly. I see all of your comments out here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Again, if you have not subscribed, do subscribe. Let us know who you are, what your business is, what EIDL funds that you have already received. That helps other people know that it can happen for them, right? Because sometimes people are like, well, I'm not getting anything. I don't think this is happening. I'm losing hope. This tells them that, yeah, don't give up, right? It took me 1.5 years to get my EIDL grant. 1.5 years. And I always knew I would get it, but I knew I couldn't just sit idly by. I knew I had to fight for it. I knew I had to petition. I knew I had to go to Twitter. I knew I had to start making calls to my congressmen and women and being part of that process. So again, I would encourage you all to do the same. Understand that you have power, you have a voice, and you have to use it. And those business owners that have been doing it, that is the only reason we have seen the changes that we've seen thus far. And it's the only way we're going to continue to see more changes and get more funding or more programs to be able to provide relief to small business owners. So Tiffany is saying she just got her EIDL grant yesterday. Congratulations. We have another person. Christina is trying to submit her 4506T. That is required for both the grant and the loan. That is the transcript that it goes to the IRS to verify that you have a return in their master file. It has been a reason that has held up many applications, but I believe the SBA has stopped denying a lot of those applications, and they're just in pending status, because I know they just got like an upload of 4,000 that they have been waiting on for quite a while. And that's causing a delay, and it's not your fault. Is because the IRS is so behind. The SBA is so behind, millions and millions of tax returns from 2019. So let's not even talk about 2020 yet. Okay, thank you all so much for the shout outs. Thank you so much. Thank you so much that you like the platform. I love it too. I was testing it out before I came on today. Thank you so much. Helen is saying she got an offer on the 7th at 9 p.m. Awesome. Someone else is saying prices of everything is going up. Prices is going up, right? I order from delivery services, right? Because I've been social distancing for a long time now, and so everything is delivered. So I even see the food, the meals, they have gone up, and it seems like every week the price is higher and higher. When I order my groceries, the prices are higher and higher from what I was paying this same time last year. And so we know that supplier costs, food costs for restaurants have skyrocketed. And again, they've been some of the hardest hit through this pandemic. And a lot of them missed out. They applied for it, but there was not enough funding in the restaurant revitalization grant. And then due to the litigation, thousands that were approved had their approvals rescinded. So the SBA actually referenced that as to why we need more of this EIDL money available to support small businesses. K Doodle, if you didn't receive anything for the grant, it just depends on when you applied. But if you applied in 2020 and you have not yet received an invite, you need to call the SBA. And I mean, first call, I would call your district office and just let them know. But make sure you didn't, because you need to make sure that you're going to the same email that you used when you applied to the EIDL program in 2020. And a lot of you all don't know which email you use. You close the email, or your email system, or you deleted emails. I mean, I never recommend deleting emails. I mean, never delete emails related to any application that you have. Especially as a business, you have to maintain your documents. If anything ever comes back, or somebody say, I shouldn't have got the money, or whatever the case may be, I have my documents to prove that I should have, and they were accurate in giving the money. Okay. Also, please know if you have multiple businesses that are separate, different businesses, totally separate, EINs, names, everything, you can apply for each eligible business. You can get an EIDL loan and an EIDL grant for each eligible business. So some people didn't know that early on. We may have viewers here that don't know about that. So please know, like even when I applied for PPP, when I was applying, I kind of forgot I have my new business over here. I'm like, I need to get my application in, right? But it didn't take me long. It just took me a few days. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't put my application in. But a lot of people didn't know that they could do multiple applications. So, but not if you're a 1099 and you work for different contractors. That's not it. You need a separate EIN, separate bank business names for each of the businesses to qualify for that. Okay. But for each eligible business, you can do that. Someone else is saying that they keep emailing her to upload the 4506T. Okay, so yeah, sometimes they will ask you to send the same documents multiple times. I know it's frustrating, but after they ask you to upload, did you call your loan specialist? I would get on the phone. Also, you can upload via email, you can fax. So just find the alternatives that, if they're not getting it by email or if it's not uploading, ask them, is there a fax number that you can fax it to? Because one of my peers, she kept emailing hers, and they kept telling her that it was not readable. So that person left. I don't know why they left, if they resigned or got fired. But anyway, after months and months and months, she got a hold of someone at a higher level that told her it was never an issue, that the document was legible. So what was this loan specialist talking about? They held up her application, held her from getting her EIDL loan money because they would not accept the 4506T. That she had me review it. And I said, there's nothing wrong with this 4506T. And it was legible. So it took her months because they said what wasn't illegible to them, it actually was. So that's why you have to keep following up and escalate it, advance it to past the first level person. Know that the people at the first level don't know everything. They may be new. So you have to just take multiple steps. Get your district office involved, get your Congress involved to help expedite the application process. Okay, so Kate Doodle is saying they just got an email saying that she had a duplicate and canceled the last application and canceled the most recent. Yes, now you can get moving. Now they will start moving your application forward. Okay, so that's good. You took action on that. So awesome. So again, sharing is caring. Go get your money, but also share with your peers. You have family members, friends, peers in your network that are small business owners, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits that need help. Again, share the information with them. Let them know what opportunities are available and go get them. As soon as the SBA releases, make it official on their website about the $2 million increase, I'll be back on to share that information. I will let you know if there's any new calculations, because people ask me that again about how they calculate the loan. They have one formula right now. I don't know if they will change it, right? Change the calculation on what they determine your loan amount to be. They're just increasing the loan amount. But whatever the change is, I will bring that to you, let you know as soon as we hear more about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, continue to be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.